Hating bitches block my medulla. I showed the bitch my pen, then I schooled her. Shot a essay them in my true love. Don't cheat the dime, don't cheat the dean, don't cheat supreme, let's rock. Hoorah. Freaky little, sneaky little, creepy little whack bitch. Creeping on me, speaking on me, sleeping on me, mattress. Now I got some hands to burn and bars to bend them backwards. It's time to wake them up, cause they...
Good morning. I know it's early. And if you watch the replay, I know I was supposed to come back. Sorry. At 8:30. But nobody would let me. I said, you know what? If I don't come back Friday, I'm going to get my butt up. And I'm going to go ahead and just get up in the morning and start. So, I was going to finish the other one. I said, you know what? I'm not going to keep finishing it, keep going through the whole thing. We're going to jump in the islands, Africa, and the UK missing while black. Okay. Now, you know, you have Cuba, Cayman Islands, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Haiti, Dominican Republic. You have all these islands, right? Did they put Barbados? Yeah. Okay, they put Trinidad. You know, Trinidad closer to, what do you call them? Brazil. Then we're going to go to Africa. We're not going to split it. This is all Africa countries, okay, including Sudan. And then we're going to take over to the UK. Now, the UK is very hard because I know you see England, the Wales. Y'all know that the Wales is the Wales territory, okay? Then you have Scotland and Northern Ireland. I don't know why they consider that the UK. I guess because England, and I've heard of some people that are from the UK that have moved with the Scotland, learned Dutch with the school. But we're going to talk about missing. So we're going to go ahead and start with islands. We're going to start with the statistics. And I'm going to see a couple of videos. Let me add another thing here. So, because I want y'all to see how different it is than it is in America. Which is very different. Okay. So now this is whole. Okay, this is whole. We're going to read it. This is whole. This is very, very important because I know people, number one, are trying to move out of the country. Some people are thinking of living abroad before America takes its fall. And some people are looking at different. So the statistics of missing, according to the International Organization of Migration, missing migrant people. In 2022, the Caribbean saw a record high number of missing migrants with over 321 deaths and disappearances reported, most of whom are from Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela. A significant portion of these individuals were Black, though is that racial breakdowns are not always readily available due to the high number of unidentified cases. High number of missing migrants, over 321 cases, you know, most from Venezuela. A lot of people, many migrants was attempted to reach the United States, routes like the Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico, Haiti to DR, and Venezuela to other islands, okay? So it reached a record high of 321 people. Now, you know, the history with Haiti right now is Haiti has not had a prime minister or president for a very long time. I believe they just got one. And there was a lot that the gang territory was taking over, especially in Port-au-Prince, that most of the churches were having. And I'm still trying to figure out, and I'm with one YouTuber, she's Haitian, and she was saying it's very strange of how And I put it this way, and me and her believe the same thing. The government has been giving Haiti weapons. Because how you get weapons and put them up? In churches. The whole entire Haiti, excuse me, is not bad. Port-au-Prince is the only one, and you have to be careful. But the rest of Haiti, everybody, and the reason why the other parts of Haiti is so congested because everybody's leaving Port-au-Prince to go live in other places or to visit or just to have a peaceful life because of the gang territory. So now we're going to look at some videos. Like I said, you guys watch the replay, and if you guys want to research with Haiti, you can. Venezuela has always had their problems. I don't know what their issue is with crime. Dominican Republic is right next to Haiti. Cuba is not that far. But I never understood why Venezuela always had their crime. I know a lot of Venezuelans come here and the crime is crazy because they're leaving the crime there, but most of them are being sucked back. Now, crime, I'm with it. But the people who do not produce crime, I'm not with it. But you know, hey. But let's see if I can find us a video. Yeah, I'm gonna let that load. But yeah, so you know, it happens. Let me look up the one in Trinidad and in Jamaica because I remember they had some issues with women being missing. At one point, but their prime minister is like, oh, no, you're not. Oh no, you're not. We're not. No. Let's see. They had some issues. Now, let me see if I can find it. Excuse me. So I'm looking at this graph thing, and is that no? That's the UK. United States are in the blue, which is not great. That means trafficked person in the United States is 2021 with missing we have reached 11,000 and more. Other countries are in the red, slight green. We're going to talk about that. But the U.S. has hit a record of a lot. And a lot of people are wanting to, hold on, y'all. A lot of people are wanting to blame immigration. And I'm going to say this to you guys. No. What you guys gotta, and I'm gonna keep it real. We finna keep it honest over here. I don't want nobody to feel like, oh, it is them. I don't want y'all to believe that because it's not. The reason I report these stories are not to let y'all know it's not them. Be mindful. There are people here that want to get a money gimmick. You have pastors, certain pastors that are grooming children. You have aunties and uncles. We even talked about the Nzaya case and how that happened and how it looked like that's a traffic situation, right? You have people in Detroit. The United States is 12,000 or more with traffic and missing children. They are the biggest. We are the biggest as of America. We have a problem of our children are missing in big traffic. We are the biggest. No other country or state have those issues. They're in the green. They haven't even moved to the blue. So, and I was on TikTok and I was like, oh, it's not them. You got people that work for people. Let me tell you something. As long as you can work for somebody and work with somebody in power with money, it happens. It happens. Look at Detroit. All those kids are missing. I just seen a post about a little girl in Detroit missing. And guess what they label her as? A runaway. They labeled her as a runaway. That's what they labeled her as. And she's missing right now. Now I'm going to wait and see if we get an update. But I am going to share about it. She is missing. Now, I just read to y'all about Haiti. We talked about, and I'm surprised with Cuba that Cuba had 332 missing. Well, this is all combined. DR and Haiti are next door neighbors. People are now saying Haiti are Afro-Latina. I don't call them Afro-Latina. I say Dominican Republicans and Haitians are pure black. Their roots go to Africa. We're going to be honest. Some have learned Spanish because of being over in DR, being sent to DR and being sent to Haiti. Because before that, I don't think they were split yet. Haiti and DR got split when it became a slave-run country. Haiti and DR was a slave-run country, and Haitians fought back using witchcraft. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say witchcraft because I want to respect other people's voodoo religion, and I like to be respectful because I want people to respect that my relationship with God is my relationship with God. So I want to be fair. They used voodoo and they used DR to fight back because they wanted to take over and keep them as slaves. Haiti is the only country that has won that war. Shout out to the Haitians. They won that war. They sure did. So, they have helped Black Americans a lot, okay? So we have kidnapping, child abduction, trafficking, and political targets. You have challenges of comparing missing person data by countries. I'm trying to see. Okay, I should have put India in here. Now this has really India. We noticed that with India because we have seen India have so much going on in India, right? They've been fighting and things for years, right? So, okay, read it to you. Another of the world's populous countries, India has a worrying number of cases of missing persons. Statistics show that 88 women, kids, and men go missing by the hour. 2,130 people every day. 64,851 go away, and people every month. According to India's national crime rate data, the province of West Bengal, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and Rajasthan have the highest number of missing people. We're going to go into the United Kingdom in a minute. Colombia, South America, the kidnapping capital of the world. It is now given an official nickname, the kidnapping capital of the world. Now, Colombia has a lot of people going to get their teeth done, their body done in Colombia, and then go with people. They don't go by themselves. So Colombia has done one of the highest rates as well because of the rug situation in Colombia. We're going to be honest. Colombia has a big ring of that. But I think it moved to Venezuela since because they got it under control. But we're going to continue to read. The problem can be traced in 1970s with drug cartels, and guerrilla groups like M19 used kidnapping to extort money from victims. Decades later, this country still is rocked in conflict as armed groups use kidnappings to foster fear among civilians, and bid to maintain control. According to the Department of Accra, a person was reported missing every 3 days in Colombia in 2020. Mexico. Now, ever since Mexico has had their new, shout out to Mexico president, the lady of Mexico, it has drawn down. There are people that moved here. There are people, Americans that moved to Mexico because it is cheaper. They moved to Mexico because not just by rent cheaper, food is cheaper. It's been kind of like a switch. So Americans, we're going to be honest, everybody talking about sitting back. Americans have been going to live in Mexico, and Mexicans been coming here, so it's been a switcheroo. We cannot keep going with this in the back. This has been a switcheroo. Okay? Okay. And Mexicans feel like Americans get free stuff over there. Okay? There ain't nobody telling that. Anyway. According to Mexico National Registry, more than 100,000 people have reported missing over the last 2 years of 2020, 2022. Many Mexican persons and Mexicans are victims of violence associated with organized crime. Mexico actual number of missing people is slightly much higher than its official number. As many as abductions are reported. We're going to come back to Nigeria. Canada has had, we're going to go with, this has been since 2021. United States is the highest. United States has, since 2021, 10,070 people, mostly are Black. Nigeria come in, Argentina, Madagascar, Italy, Peru. Most of these are lower numbers. The only one that has the highest numbers because of trafficking is Argentina and Italy, but since has started to go down more because of the much rain, cheaper for people to do things, and of law. Okay, even the movies tell us this. Now we're gonna go into some stories. I haven't seen anything. I was looking for Trinidad and Tobago. I might have to go on here. Let's see. Because I was hearing they had a state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago, and it was mostly because of missing women. They had gang reprisal threats. It was like a murder surge and gang violence. But we're gonna go with missing. Because I remember they had like a thing a couple of years ago where women were missing. And Trinidad, here we go. This was like 5 years ago. I'm gonna go to, here's the one that was a year ago. Here you go. I'm gonna play it in a minute. But there were women missing. And Trinidad and Tobago was like, when it came to women, because it was such a known thing, every time it was a lot of women missing. Because every other day they were telling women to be careful. They were telling women to be mindful going out. So I'm gonna play this video. And it's been going on, it was going on for 5 years, and it kind of. What happened? Hold on, y'all. So that was last year. This was 2 years ago. We don't play this. Okay. Oh my bad. Hold on. I thought it was playing. We're gonna replay it.
Two missing people are seeking the public's assistance to find their loved ones. 15-year-old Khadija Bain was last seen on October 5th, 2022. She left home for school and has not returned since. Relatives say she has been spotted in the Princestown area. Also missing is a 41-year-old man, Vijay Morgan Singh of Valencia. He was last seen on September 24th wearing a blue and white jersey, blue jeans, and black slippers. Relatives said Mr. Morgan Singh has Down syndrome and they fear for his safety. Anyone with information is asked to contact the.
Okay. We're gonna go. Let's see. Okay, so there's a woman from Chicago missing in the Bahamas right now, been missing for 7 months. I might have to play a certain topic.
Details today on the search for the missing Chicago woman who disappeared on a yoga retreat in the Bahamas. The Royal Bahamas Police Force says 41-year-old Taylor Casey was last seen on Wednesday, June 19th on Paradise Island. The organization hosting the retreat says they alerted the U.S. Embassy and Casey's family after she failed to show up at morning yoga class on the 20th. Her family believes she is in danger and they're traveling to the island today to help with the search.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago.
Oh, did they have an update? Hold on, y'all. No, go back. Let's see. I think they had an update. I don't know. Let me go to Haiti. We're not going to Jamaica, then we're going to go to Haiti. Now, this was 4 months ago about a missing woman. This is in Jamaica, and then you have one for 2 months ago. I think this looked like the same place.
Online at onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening.
So Jamaica mostly share their news they share it with them, but when I was there, I noticed they have a lot of it from Miami and the Cayman Islands as well. I don't know why that is. I never understood why, but that's how they share it. So this news is in the Cayman Islands, which I'm trying to understand why. I guess it's certain things they share there, because even when I vacationed there and I used to watch the news when it was raining, I had no choice. I wasn't going out there, couldn't do anything. And a lot of that was it was different places like Miami, and I don't know why, but they even share news from Miami, Florida as well.
The search for a missing 23-year-old female resident of Retreat District in Glengough, St. Catherine has ended in tragedy.
A close family friend who confessed to killing her led the police to a shallow grave where he buried her.
Now, Kirk Wright was in the community and now reports.
The crowd swelled in Retreat District in Glengough, St. Catherine, as the news spread that the decomposing body of Lisa Gay Kubre was found in a shallow grave. Lisa was 23 years old. Her body was buried somewhere behind her house where she lived with her mother, sister, and the man it said who confessed to her killing. It's 2 weeks now that she had been missing, but it's reported that the suspect went to the Constant Spring police station Tuesday morning where he confessed to the crime. He led the police to the scene behind the girl's house where he allegedly buried the body. The cops came well prepared to dig, and about half an hour later, confirmation came that her body was found.
Oh, God, that's my mom.
Her mother, Sonia Beverly, was rattled by the news. She wanted to hand down her own justice on the suspect. Miss Beverly said she was particularly...
Let me tell you something. They gonna try to get their way to fight you over there with Missy.
Hurt because she raised the suspect who lived with the family.
When he go to Cassava Primary School, I grew up in my 10-year-old, and him same leave, him come back. Same leave, him come back. He leave and him come back.
What kind of person? What kind of work? He worked?
Him like him do like a gardener work and them stuff. Him like him with a kill pig and them there. At the butcher shop out there by Lawrence Tavern.
She said after her daughter disappeared, the suspect helped with the search for her.
I went to town Saturday to get some things I could just have on the stall there. And when I come back, I don't see my daughter because she always there for years or 2 years. So. And the boy up and down with me Saturday night, Sunday night, whole night. And wouldn't tell me, Mr. Kirkside, him kill my daughter. I sleep all in my house with me. I'm like I have a spirit in me, Mr. Kirk. And I said to him, say, I wonder if you and your friend, they make up and take away babe and go kill babe. Him say, Bo.
A family friend, Miss Julie, told us the suspect remained close to the family.
Even Sunday, we had a prayer meeting at the shop, and they called for the family to pray for them. And Juki presented himself, he was there.
This Juki is a suspect?
Yes. And the church prayed because they said family and he's a part of the family. So he came and the church did pray.
What was his body language like at the time?
Well, he looked anxious, he's anxious. I don't know, something about Juki was off.
While the police investigate the motive for the killing, Ms. Beverly says the suspect was generally respectful to her and her daughters.
So what was the relationship between him and her like? Were they good friends? They had a good rapport?
She talked to them. She talked with him all the while. Them take him for them brother. Because I don't have any boy children. I don't have any son. I have 4 girls.
Residents waited around for a while and demanded that the police hand over the suspect to them before they whisked him away. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Okay. So basically, she's saying that he was a family friend. He grew up with them. He helped them trying to find the girl. And basically, he knew the whole time that he unaligned her. So he turned himself in and told them. And the mother and the family friend said when he came to when she was missing, they were praying for her, and he was there, praying for her to be found. And she asked him, "Did you do anything?" And he said no. She said she raised him since he was a schoolboy, and she helped raise him because, and she told the whole thing. So we're gonna move on. Okay, so remember, the lady that went to Haiti to a retreat. Well, it's going on a year. So 6 months ago, they came out with some more information. We're going to play that. This is in Haiti. Let me see.
Well, tonight we're learning more about a Charlotte woman who died while on a voodoo spiritual retreat in Haiti. Her son says Dana Jackson went down to Haiti on July 1st and was supposed to return on July 26th, but that never happened. WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker joining me in the studio tonight. In Austin, the Sun tells you things aren't adding up here.
Yeah, that's right. This is the last text that Timothy Jackson received from his mother. That was on July 12th. He was supposed to...
I'm not sure what part of Haiti she went to, but if y'all look up and do, there are parts in Haiti that Haitians are telling people not to go to, including Port-au-Prince. When it comes to those folks' religion, you do not, if you're not ordained to do it, if you don't have ancestry to do that, you do not mess with it. So, a lot of people are still visiting Haiti, but they're not going to certain parts.
To hear from her 9 days after on the 21st, but Timothy says that's what he's being told right now about what happened, how, when. It's all not adding up.
It's a trip Timothy Jackson was hesitant to support.
Truthful, honest answer, I was easy.
His mom, Dana, had voodoo spiritual practices for over 4 years.
She was called to do voodoo.
And wanted to take the next step, becoming a and they agreed they'd stay in contact as much as possible.
We talked. She told me she was fine and she was okay. Once they actually got to their location, she would talk to me. We would text, even if it was once a day.
Screenshots from the app WhatsApp showing she made it there on July 1st.
So our last last text I received from her was on July the 12th. She let me know that they were going to church the following day to pray for her. I knew that this last part of this ceremony, she wouldn't be able to talk, or she wouldn't have access to her phone, which I had did a little bit of research before and after, and that's kind of common.
But she assured him she'd message him on the 21st.
On the 21st, I waited. And then on the 22nd, it's like I had an eerie feeling. When I woke up, I checked my phone and I didn't have any messages in WhatsApp.
On July 22nd, Timothy received a call from his grandfather saying his mother had died.
I pulled up her itinerary and I called, the lady in charge, Mambo Maud, but I asked her, what happened. And, they kind of asked me, well, how much did I know?
He says the woman told him his mother completed the ceremony but got sick. She had strokes and seizures. But later, the story changes, and he was told she had an asthma attack.
The way that my mom takes her health serious, if she would have had an asthma attack, she would have tried to see if she could have went to someone's hospital.
The death certificate came weeks later, and Timothy says it had additional red flags.
And it doesn't even look like it was written with like a decent pen. So like the ink was running out.
It shows Dana's time of death at 6:30 in the morning on July 22nd, but doesn't list a cause of death. He also couldn't get any confirmation where her body was and learned from Haitian officials she had been moved 3 times.
I don't know why they showed that cow. I'm going to say this. I've heard stories. That's all I'm going to say. Let's continue.
We were not even getting any clear information.
I reached out to Mambo Maud and left a message trying to get more clarity on the timeline, but did not hear back.
I feel like they manipulated and lied to my mom. And then I feel like they're doing the same thing to me. And that's why I can't be quiet about it any longer.
A lot of unanswered questions right there, but what are the next steps? Trying to get more concrete information. So when an American dies on foreign soil, the U.S. Embassy steps in, and officials there tell Timothy they are working right now to get her body. Colin?
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they found, if they did get her body back. I don't think so. Here's the thing. Haiti has so much of a political issue. And there are people, like the couple that went last year to go to Carnival, who went missing. It was hard to try to get their family to figure out what's going on with the U.S. Embassy, because U.S. Embassy is in Port-au-Prince. So they have a big political issue. And this one, I don't know. I remember this one on Good Morning America, but I don't, let me see. I'm going to show this one too.
Good morning, Rebecca. Overnight, one of those 2 kidnapped Americans calling family in South Florida, now saying that the kidnappers are demanding even more money for their safe release. This morning, desperation for one South Florida family with 2 of their own kidnapped in Haiti. Abigail Toussaint and her husband, Jean Dickens Toussaint, went to Port-au-Prince last week to attend an event and see a sick relative.
We are just devastated, and it's really hard. It's really tough.
The Toussaints were met by a family friend at the airport. The 3 get on a public bus trying to make their way through the violent capital city. A Haitian law enforcement source tells ABC News the bus was then stopped and boarded by armed gang members near this point in Martissant, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city. All 3 travelers were then abducted.
Yep. I'm hoping for my brother to come back here. And I know the FBI, everyone in here, they doing everything they can.
The FBI and State Department says they are aware of reports of the kidnapping, but did not provide further detail. Haitian investigators believe someone tipped off the gang. The Americans boarded the bus at the airport, making them easy targets.
Here's the thing. I don't believe they were tipped off. Around that time last year, they were, and y'all saw when they shot the plane to get them people to here, and they say, no, you got to get off that sick. It's going on 2 years, I think they went missing. A lot of people were saying that don't go there. They had put a travel ban on there because they were going to airports, essaying women. They were robbing people. And if you tried to leave, they'll go to the airport to essay you and rob you, and you might not come back alive. So at that time when they left, they had already put a ban after they left. They already told people that they were going to airports doing things because they went to the main airport place.
Ransom request quickly came in, $6,000. The family says they wired the money, but overnight the kidnappers demanded some $200,000 for their release and put Gene Dickens on the phone.
He said he was okay.
Wired money to families, they would take it and rob it from their family. So if some people have family in Haiti, they were taking their money.
And he can't talk much, but they don't know. For them, they don't know where they are because they tied their eyes when they take them.
This comes amidst nearly unprecedented violence in Port-au-Prince. Haitian law enforcement estimates up to 80% of the city is in gang control. Since Haiti's president was assassinated in July 2021, the office remains vacant. The country has no sitting Congress, the national police force is in shambles, and some neighborhoods are left in anarchy. Now, the State Department gives Haiti a level 4 travel rating. It's most urgent, saying, quote, do not travel to Haiti due to kidnapping, crime, and civil unrest. It also says any Americans currently in that country should leave as soon as it is safe to do so. Guys?
Important advice. Thank you, Matt Rivers. We appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot of people were still traveling, still doing stuff, but yeah, those are stories that I heard. We just seen on Love and Hip Hop, because they filmed last year, that Flo, husband with their family friend, best friend, got killed for political reasons, and he was explaining that as well. And he, Marlon can't even, and Flo can't go over there to say goodbye or nothing like it. They can't go. They can't go show love. They can't do none of that. But I'm not sure if Haiti has now got a president, because they did not have a president since 2021. They didn't have one last year. I think they just got one the end of last year sometime. I'm going to look that up, but I believe they just got a president, over Haiti. So now we're going to go to the DR, and then we're going to go to Barbados, and then we're not gonna go around the whole island. I mean, we just did Bahamas, where there's a woman from Chicago who went on a yoga retreat, and she has been missing, and they have not found her. Okay. A lot of people was going to the DR. Missing couple that went to the DR from New York. Hold on.
Authorities in the Dominican Republic say they believe an American couple that went missing in late March died in a car crash. Portia Ravenel and Orlando Moore were scheduled to fly home from a 4-day trip on March 27th. Police say an injured woman was found on a highway the same day. She was taken to a local hospital where she later died. Days later, authorities recovered a body with a tattoo matching Moore's. Local police believe the couple might have crashed their rental car on the way to the airport. They say there is a car at the bottom of the Caribbean Sea that has not yet been retrieved. A forensic pathologist is working to positively identify the victims.
Okay. Now, I haven't heard too much with them, with things going on there. Let me try to go back. And around that time, 5 years ago, that, you know, a lot of people was going to the DR and they were doing things and having fun. Some people were coming back sick. Some people were missing. It was you know, during COVID, it was a lot going on. The people still traveling. Traveling was lifted. Let's see. Okay, so they have one called Missing Girls in Police Custody, and this happened in Barbados a year ago. Let's play. Then we're going to go to Africa.
The Barbados Police Service wished to inform members of the public that missing juveniles Renika husbands and Tanique Jemmett are now in police custody. The Barbados Police Service wished to thank members of the public and the press for their kind cooperation and assistance in this matter.
Okay. So let's see. I think I'm going to leave it there because I don't see anything else. Slide back up. That's not what I want. Okay. So they found the little girls that were missing in Barbados. They were missing for a minute. I think it was 3. Like he said, it was 3 girls, and I think it was 2. He just named it 3, but they did find them and return them to their family. Now we're going to go to Africa. Now, Nigeria, we're going to start with Nigeria. The West African country, Nigeria, is known as a kidnapping hotspot. Nigeria record 3,000 missing people in the first half of 2021. 571 kidnappings in January 2022 alone. Kidnapping is quite common in Nigeria. Victims can be chosen at random or specifically targeted. Kidnapping in Nigeria has many causes. Militants and bandits often kidnap people, often wealthy businessmen, sometimes school children or common civilians. Nigeria, especially a lot of people go around December, Nigeria is now a hub for business. That's their thing. Business corporations. Nigeria is the hub for that, right? So with Nigeria having some issues, they tend to do that. We even heard of Nigerian scammers, honey. Now, not everybody in Nigeria is broke. Not everybody in Africa is broke. I'll say it again. Nigerians are very, very flashy with what they have. Honey, they're very flashy. They let you know they're not broke. So when you have people that be like, hey, you got more than what I got, it's probably the situation, right? I'm just saying it probably is. So for ransom to help fund their activities, of course, the government to give specific demands. Moreover, culturists and ritual unalivers. Ritual is that's a big thing in Africa as well. they do rituals, right? So, okay, I'm explaining it. I hope nobody get it. So, just like we was talking about in Haiti, how the lady, there's a lot of Haitians believe that if the lady, they didn't have that lady body, they probably put her spirit somewhere else or whatever. We don't know. Or they probably did bring her back. If y'all want more on that, let me know. We'll get into that. That she became a zombie and she can't go back home. Okay? There's a guy on TikTok where he said his sister was brought back alive and she can't have babies and they can't tell her that she's married now, right? She pissed off a witch, well, not a witch, a voodoo priest by cussing her out. The voodoo priest told her she had such amount of days. Then the uncle brought her back. And then when the uncle brought her back, the lady went to someone more powerful and put the uncle into a cow. That's why I was like, the cow. And then the young lady was brought back alive, but she cannot have children because she is still, yeah. So when they say ritual, they're practicing for those things, or they're offering to, we talked about on here, to mermaids, or they're offering to other spirits as a ritual. Okay, that's what they mean by ritual. Or the blood. Common criminals may kidnap people on purpose, including organ harvesting operations. Yep, they doing that. And also ritual sacrifices. We just talked about that. And illicit adoption schemes. So most of the children that do come here to be adopted, they're basically saying, hey, that child is stolen from Africa. They took that child from someone and, you know, had them pay these rich people who want babies and can't have babies. They pay and do whatever they can to have babies. So they give them to the adoption agency and they give them to them, or they have them being adopted. They come over, they get the babies and go home. It's just like the girl in Russia. She thought she got a child that was in Florida that was Russian. Come to find out that was a grown woman. Honey, y'all want more on that? Let me know. It's crazy. A grown woman with titty and cootie hair. In Florida, like they didn't know nothing. Okay? So let's see. Let's look at the statistics before we get into it. And you gotta be careful, I think. Well, no. Okay, we can talk about it. So, as you guys know, South Africa, including Johannesburg, well, mostly Johannesburg, right, is mostly whites and blacks. So they're South African. They call them Africans because most of them did try to come over, you know, the history, colonize it, and then they took over and they put Nelson Mandela in jail because he was trying to make it to where his people are blacks, Africans, who migrated on that soul, built Africa to what it is. They didn't like that. So go watch. Oh my God, I forgot that. It's a movie that Whoopi Goldberg was in. It was like an African Broadway play, and they turned it into a movie. Serafina gives you the very depth of why South Africa took their country back after all these years. I think they started to take their country back, and Africans started to elevate, meaning high-paying jobs, great places to live. When you look at these people, they're having a good old time. Everything like Africa have designer, a lot of this stuff because they were working, being maids and all those other things for the white people. They stayed in other places that wasn't great. Africa now is striving for their African people. They didn't want that for them. So now they're striving, okay? So it's a reason why. So it says many people go missing in Africa, including children, migrant, and victims of conflict. Many people registered With the ICRC, as of August 2024, more than 71,000 people across Africa was registered as missing with the International Committee of the Red Cross. Children make up 40% of the missing person case registered by ICRC. In February, which is this year, police reported 700 children still missing in South Africa with no trace of them since 2023. Many nationalists of the East Saharan Africa are believed to die aboard. The International Organization of Migrant works to collect and analyze data. So the numbers are climbing. Let's see. Many thousands of Africans have disappeared in conflict, including due to kidnappers. Separators, and clashes between the farmers and herders. So Africa in certain places have had issues with missing children. We just explained about the missing children. Now, Africa, like Haiti, does practice other things. And when they say, offerings, most of them are offering to others, to entities. And you have to be careful. Now, if y'all want me to do a separate video on that, we can watch some videos, explain it to y'all, and be more careful. Certain parts in Africa do not play that. They're very, very, very protective because they're knowing there are people coming in from America, living abroad, things of that. So they're very, very protective. So we're going to go see some videos in Africa. But that is a high number, and it's reasons for that in certain parts of Africa's reasons. Now, is it great? No. I mean, there's some downsides to Africa, just like there's some downsides here. There's some good, great things and amazing things about Africa, just like there's some amazing things here, right? So we're just looking. I don't want to offend nobody. Shout out to Africa. Y'all know I love Africa. I said I wanted to move there myself, certain places, okay? We're just, and go visit. We're just going through things that you need to know because let me tell you something. I'm hearing that a lot of people are going to move into abroad, to different countries, and they want to They want to keep let me put missing in Africa because I don't even know why I put that, but they want to keep the blacks to coming to learn about their history or history of itself of Africa, the motherland. And Africa is very, very beautiful. I'm just still talking about what the hell they got going on. Okay, so now we're going to go into South Africa. This was 9 years ago, and they were discussing the missing of children. And how it was happening so frantically. There was a lot going on. Hold on. This is South Africa ABC News. Shout out to them. Hold on. Now, copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer. I don't even know if my comment is there. Shut it down. Copyright disclaimer section 176 of 1970. This is non-copyright. We copyrighted for educational purposes only. Non-copyright disclaimers for educational purposes only. I know I had my phone. My son got my phone. It's for educational purposes only. We're doing education on missing children around. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me let it catch up. Give it a minute. But yeah, let me pause it. Now, y'all seeing different shades, right? Okay. Everybody in Africa ain't dark. Everybody in Africa ain't light. Okay. Ethiopia is African. Don't let nobody tell you they got light and dark shades, okay?
Missing children's on
6-year-old with a since 2012. 4-year-old Shaskia missing since 2013. 4-year-old Oyisandotlo missing since 2011. Missing children's cases never solved. 4-year-old Saskia Michaels from Freedom Park in Mitchell's Plain seems to have disappeared without a trace, despite police and community members combing the area for clues. Her family says they have not lost hope.
I miss my child very much. I cry every day and wonder where she is. Does she have food? Does she have clothes? I miss her a lot.
The miraculous reunion of Cape Town teenager Zephanie Nurse with her biological parents 17 years after she was kidnapped from hospital as a newborn is a glimmer of hope for many. The Pink Ladies Association, started in 2007, says families and communities should never stop looking.
But it taught me something. It just taught me that there's so many more out there and so many that you can save or help to save, you know.
Another thing, most of the white South Africans, I'm going to put this out there because it's a whole narrative. They are fine. They are not slaves. They are working together to find children and evaluate, elevate South Africa. And I know y'all seen some Indians, yes. Sudan, yes, is part of Africa. So, you know, you can move anywhere in Africa from other places. You just have to have, I think, the documents for it. Most of the cities. One girl on TikTok was saying, y'all think the cities is this and that. No, they're very close together. They're very close together. Well, I won't say cities, but countries. They're very close together.
You're part and parcel like a neighborhood watch. You're holding hands. You're doing what you can.
Recently, 6-year-old Sashalee November disappeared from her Hanover Park home.
I do believe that she is alive out there. The person who took her, perhaps, if he or she can just bring her back, even though you have to put her somewhere near her house to just let her come home.
A 25,000 Rand reward has been offered to anyone with information. For these families, their children may be gone, but it is impossible for them to be forgotten. Sisanda Nkwala, SABC News, Cape Town.
Now, let's see. So most of them, they believe, were son places or, okay, this is the one from Nigeria I was talking about. Or they children probably were sold here to rich families.
A Nigerian non-profit media organization covering humanitarian issues on the ground. According to the organization, many of the people who are missing were victims of extrajudicial killings, arbitrary arrests by state security forces. Kunle, the researcher at Human Angle, and he joins us now for more on this. Kunle, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Perhaps let's start with how the research was done.
Yes, thanks a lot for having me. At Human Angle, we spent many months researching the missing persons crisis in Nigeria, and we forcefully support of the Open Society Foundation. We tried to humanize the statistics that was domiciled in the records of the International Committee of the Red Cross. And then we started by independently gathering our own data to try to corroborate this information. And we found thousands of people in the northeastern region of Nigeria who have lost missing. Next thing we did, analyze the figures by speaking to people missing family members. And the scale of the problem and how it's affecting people on a level. That we released was able to answer questions as to why and how we have the problem on such a massive scale. And we found, as you rightly mentioned, cases of extrajudicial murders. We have arbitrary arrest, random profiling, cases of prolonged detention of criminal procedures, and also active efforts by state forces officers.
You have a database of 3,150 people.
Hold on, y'all. This is buffering, but he's discussing. I think he did this a year ago because just like we talked about, I think it's been a year. The rise in Nigeria missing has been very, very high and counting. So they're still counting in Nigeria and in South Africa.
Of northern Nigeria. What is the story behind them going missing?
Yes, so what usually happens, a lot of these incidents took place somewhere between 20.
They had a virgin here for a missing German tourist. This happened 3 weeks ago. A woman in Cape Town, Africa. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Oh, it's 40 minutes, so we can watch it. So let me share it. She went to the courts. Hold on. Missing Jocelyn Tilford mother Kelly Smith makes first appearance in court. So their courts are different. They're like they're very different. Y'all don't see how different it is in our court. That's how the courts are.
Here we are dealing with human trafficking and kidnapping charge of a young child. Of course, it's unfortunate that due to an admin error and the J7 between having reflected Malmesbury prison as opposed to Paulsmoor, only Ms. Smith is in court before us today. I understand that there's been discussions that the trial should proceed as a circuit matter, that the interests of Saldanha and the surrounding areas, that community has got a substantial interest in the matter and would like to attend. And we need to accommodate that factor. Appropriate for in what be this whole
I'm going to tomorrow. I am going to give us more details on this story. we're going to talk about this story because it's a lot, and I see it on the other side of the timeline. We're going to discuss this story. I'm going to do more research, and tomorrow morning I'm going to come back, and we're going to discuss how this young woman was kidnapped, young girl was kidnapped and trafficked in Cape Town,
Africa. In the meantime,
come on, babe, catch up. Thing. Okay, so I'm going to save this, but we're going to do that. Let me tell y'all, we're going to go to the UK in a minute. On Monday, I'm going to do the Maya Marcano story. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about Jocelyn's story as well in Cape Town, Africa. Because I feel like that story has a lot. I want to get deep dive. So I'm going to deep dive, and we're going to talk about it so I can come back tomorrow morning, Sunday. We're going to discuss it. But we're going to move forward because we still have the UK to cover. But I want to cover this last story that I want to share with y'all before we go to the UK. So remember how we talked about the ritual things in Africa. So there's a story. There was a woman who went missing at a young girl. They went to wash clothes at the river. She was missing for 40 years. And when you find out where this young woman was, this young girl was, you will be surprised. So imagine you taking your little cousin or family member to wash clothes in a certain part of Africa because they didn't have laundry and things like that yet, right? You take her down by the river. That's how you got to wash your clothes. That's how you got to keep the upkeep of your clothes, however you have to do. And you see her playing, touching the water, and the next thing you know, she goes missing. Well, you're wondering, where could this little girl go? Fast forward 40 years later, she comes back as a little girl with red hair. Oh, we're going to get into it. Here we go. So this is from the Black Cauldron. You guys have not followed her on TikTok, and Facebook. Please follow her. She has she was the one I was talking about with be let me let that load while I pause. About the missing woman who came to find out in her 30s or 40s after her aunt passed that her supposed to be aunt took her, moved her up north from Atlanta and raised her. And she was she didn't raise her, gave her to a family member, and she was in a toxic environment. She was raised by people. I'm going to find her. I'm still trying to find her because she hasn't uploaded in a minute. The young lady I'm talking about, and she was saying how she didn't know who her aunt was until she did some digging and found out around the time in Atlanta where all them babies went missing, her aunt was part of the reason why children went missing. I believe this was like in the 80s or 90s, and they had a whole ring up north. I'm not sure if she's from Detroit or Chicago, but it was a whole ring, and they was working with police. It's a big thing, y'all. And she found out that that wasn't her family. But we're going to share this story, and we're going to go to the UK because the UK is very different as well. Okay. I'm so tired of seeing this girl on my timeline. Reading from that paper on that phone.
From this app from my phone.
Okay.
What would you do if you were on a seemingly...
Y'all look on the side where it says the mermaid broke into her house. This is, okay, on the side under where it looked like a Haitian flag, that is Chronicle Zoe. She covers a lot of Haitian story and a lot of Haitian religion as well. So you guys need to go check her out. Very amazing YouTuber. I love her, as well as a Black conjuror. But hold on, let me get this out of the way. I'll do that on my own time. Let's play. This is a story that's going to make you mind.
Innocent trip to the river, was kidnapped by a mermaid and then brought back 40 years later. Get your popcorn.
Also, a Black conjuring does talk about reparations with the Blacks and the things of that nature. So we're going to watch this. I wanted to share this with y'all because I was like, what? These are true stories. And then we're going to go to the UK. And she also shares true crime as well.
Welcome back, YouTube. And if you are new here, hello, my name is Noah. I'm your hostess with the mostest. And on my channel, we talk about death, true crime, spiritual reparations, haunted people, places, and things, and how you can fuck around and find out. If you are not subscribed here, I invite you to. You should. And if you are not following me over on TikTok, I definitely recommend. My apologies if my voice goes in and out. I am fighting a cold that I can't seem to get rid of. So if my voice sounds like somebody's baby brother going through puberty, please bear with me. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing a couple of cases and watching a couple of TikTok videos about how people were kidnapped by mermaids but brought back. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that the mermaid is our resident villain here on my channel. And we always hear parakis about how someone got kidnapped by a mermaid. And a lot of them end in tragedy where you never hear or see them again. But a lot of them talk about how that relative returned. And if you haven't a clue what I'm talking about, mermaids are real. A lot of things are real. And they like to kidnap people for fun and make them into slaves. They are just miscreants of the sea sometimes. They are literally sirens. Would you think a mermaid?
I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of things are uncovered. Remember, side note, when they were saying they saw drones come out the water, mermaids are now becoming to be believed as a spiritual thing, and also they have alien with them as well. So aliens are at the bottom of the sea as well, because you can't discover the whole ocean. We just can't do it. We saw people try to do it to go to the Titanic. You just can't do it. It's the reason why you couldn't go. Now, there are mermaids, but I've heard this lady I used to work with in Guyana, she's from Guyana, she told me she saw one brushing her hair, she kept walking. You do not interact, you do not say hey, you do not do nothing. You keep going. When she noticed that she saw her, she jumped into the water, that was it. And she had to keep that's just how they are. And it's mostly in Africa, and it's mostly on islands. So when y'all hear ritual offerings, when we were talking about that, some people do work with them. Now you got to be careful because they can walk the land, and you piss them off, you're going to have your mermaid baby. Okay? It's true. It's happening. There's a lot of things in the water that is coming out to be true. No one talked about in Austin, Texas. I talked about a little bit where there were men. They still don't know who did it, and they still investigating. Now the FBI's out there. There are men, and that's when, because it happened in Austin, that they said, hey, it's things in the water. It's things. There were people getting lowered to the water by a woman at night, but they would never see the woman in the day, and they found missing bodies out of the water.
Mermaid is? I'm not talking about Ariel. No. It's not that, but I've taught y'all that. So go back and watch a couple.
And the mermaids believe that we pollute the water, and we're not that. They believe that we're not that smart because we pollute things. That's what they believe. So it pisses them off. Because when you throw trash and stuff, that pisses them off. And you got to be careful where you go. Certain times to go to the water. I wanted to cover the story about the boy that got supposedly unalived in Florida, and they found part of his body. Remember that? Yeah. Somebody said, well, a boat could have hit him. A boat would have known they cut a human. That's human skin and bones. So when they found a part of him missing, they wanted to blame it on sharks. No, he wasn't bleeding. I believe that when the current got high, he went to save his sister. He pissed him off, and it happened.
My videos. My last video that was based out of Zimbabwe definitely ruffled a couple of feathers over on TikTok. So this story is also based out of Zimbabwe. Actually, it's a couple of stories in one. And it ruffled feathers because they thought I was talking about one thing and I was not. I was talking about something else. But I still love my Zimbabwe brothers and sisters and the country and the culture and what I've learned just researching. I'm definitely going to be in y'all neck of the woods one day. I want to come see the waterfalls and experience all that beautifulness. So if you feel like something that I said is incorrect, please let me know. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these videos that I'm studying, they're not in English. A lot of the articles, I have to go to Google Translate. So just give me some grace. I'm a lost who was not related to her. As they were about to leave, the girl caught a small fish. And fishes, they're flipping and flopping when you take them out of water. So she dropped the fish. And she went back to the river as everyone was packing up to clean the dirt off of the fish. And she just disappeared into thin air. After a thorough search of the area, police assumed that a crocodile got her. But family wasn't so convinced of that. The family went to traditional healers, had their divination done, and was told not to hold a funeral for this girl, that the mermaids had her and she was not dead. Let's just pause for a second, because according to what I've seen online and read online, and correct me if I'm wrong, my Zimbabwe people, whenever someone is presumed kidnapped by mermaids, it is normal or in tradition not to have a funeral. So this is something that is normal to them because so many people have been kidnapped. So before we start to judge in the comments, just know that this is tradition. Family brought in several different traditional healers, and several different healers all told them the same thing and started to give them directions on what to do every year, multiple times out of the year, to bring their baby girl back safely. And the family kept up with it. For 40 years, they did traditional rituals to appease the mermaids, to bring their baby home. But while they were doing this, weird occurrences started to happen. Misfortune started to happen to this family as they were appeasing the spirits and trying to bring baby girl back to them. The girl would manifest as a full apparition in front of her family, asking them, almost begging them to come and get her. Pause again, because see, in American culture, if we see a spirit of someone who is missing, we presume them as dead. Okay, that is just law here. But to them, that was their kind of wake-up call or like confirmation that she was still alive, and the mermaids were holding her hostage. During the time that this little girl was missing, the family was going through it, like financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically. It seemed like they couldn't do anything right, but it is said that the reason why it wasn't working is because they did not find the right traditional healer. After years and years and years of seeing this full body apparition of their child, going through traditional healing, traditional rituals to appease spirit and try to bring the girl back, they finally found the right person to do the job.
Okay.
to her village and straight to her family. And when journalists and news outlets caught wind, they ran all this child, but were not allowed to film her. That was one thing that the family and traditional wanted to make very, very clear. You can look, but do not photograph, do not film. The CEO of Wanenzi Rural District Council, his name was Albert Nabolo. No, I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. He was at the welcome home ceremony for the little girl, and he was in shock. He had never seen anything like this. All the little girls, villagers, neighbors, everyone who was probably in their 40s when she arrived back, but were children when she, disappeared, were so happy to see her. Councilman Albert spoke to the media and told them, this is legit. This is the little girl that disappeared 40 years ago. He also said that the countryside in Zimbabwe as a whole was a very spiritual place, and strange occurrences happen like this, but usually the person that is kidnapped is presumed dead. And it's only because the mermaids never bring them back. A chiefsman also was at the celebration, and his name was Chief Nagari, and he also said this was real. It wasn't a hoax. It wasn't the family trying to get attention or anything like that. And that this was very rare for someone to come back after being kidnapped by. So we have two very high-ranking community members saying this is real. And that's what people are saying. Y'all can fuck around and find out if y'all go next to that water for too long unattended, whatever. Keep your kids safe, because you don't want for your kid to get kidnapped. And 40 years later, when you're at the end of your life, when you're elderly, you're welcoming your child back and you're trying to catch up for lost time. That's what really blew me. With this story being so sensational, a year later, the news outlet that reported all of this, or one of them, went back to check on the mermaid girl. And of course, her neighbors, who were fascinated and I presume wanted clout, told the media that she was a little weird. She only ate millet, which is like a grain. But her family was like, no, that's not true. They also said that she was unable to talk, which kind of goes hand in hand of what I've taught y'all about mermaids. Sometimes the people come back with red hair, freckles, and a mute. But her sister-in-law, someone who was married to one of her older brothers, confirmed that was a lie. She could talk and she eats regular food. The neighbors also said that she was living with the traditional healer that healed her, which also was not true. And the neighbors thought this because sometime after she returned, she kind of disappeared. They didn't know where she was. But the sister-in-law cleared that rumor up as well. It said that she went to live with her brother and then she went back to her father's house. So when I say the rumor mill around the community was rumoring, it was spinning, it was so many misconceptions about what had happened to this girl. A month later, one of the news reporters that was following up on this story was able to catch up with the mermaid girl. And the cameraman said that when he tried to film the mermaid girl, because I don't know her name, I'm sorry, but when they tried to film her, the camera just mysteriously stopped working. It's also said if you came out of the and she had and
okay. So that's the story I wanted to share about that. Now we're going to go over to the UK. England, and then Scotland, I guess, is part of the UK. And if you guys want more of those ritual stories from Africa and how people went missing between the islands of Africa, let me know in the comments. We will talk about it. It's a lot more. we're leaving Africa alone. But if you guys want more, let me know in the comment section. This thing keep going out. Okay. Now we're going to go to United Kingdom, which is part of the UK, right? London, UK. London is the capital. But statistics show that roughly 180,000 people go missing in the UK every year. The number is believed to be a significant underestimate, as 353,000 files of missing person are open every year. As in most countries, the majority of the missing person are children, majority of whom, 80% of them in the case of the UK, are located within 24 hours of filing a missing report. Now, here's the difference between us and the UK. The UK has a limit of 24 hours to file, meaning they do not wait 24. The moment that because who over the UK, the moment that they they go file, they have 24 hours to locate. And then within 24 hours, they're saying majority of the time children are found. Okay? UK does not play. Let's see. So we're going to go take a look at the Black women missing in the UK. Or children, you know. And the thing with the UK, we're going to put England. The thing with England, the UK, and London, they do not, you see them protest, but they don't have a thing for races. Race situations, it say you see, you don't speak on it. I've heard a lot of Black women say that things are different in the UK when they come here in London, because they have more of a freedom. Dating is different because most London men would date white women and prefer them. And some of them are now starting to want to date Black women, but when it comes to they can't discuss that. It's crazy. It's weird. So let's see. Okay, the number worrying. This was 8 years ago. No, where are you? We're gonna watch it. Let it load. Yeah, this was loaded 8 years ago.
Anfang Juni fällt in London das Urteil im sogenannten Hexenprozess. 3 Afrikaner werden wegen versuchten Mordes an einem 8-jährigen Mädchen verurteilt, das sie in Pflege genommen hatten. Das Tatmotiv hat mit dem kulturellen Hintergrund der Täter zu tun. Sie waren überzeugt, das Kind sei eine Hexe und man müsse ihm den Teufel austreiben. Monatelang wurde das Mädchen mit Messerstichen gequält. Das überlebte ein Wunder. Seine bimmelte Leiche wurde in der Tempel. 2 Akte trägt den Codenamen Adam, der die Identität des Opfers bekannt. Während der Ermittlungen wurden sämtliche Grundstücke
Give it a minute, y'all. Wow, what you call it is lagging. So on a video. It's called "How Many People Go Missing in England and Wales Each Year." This was from 2 years ago, and I believe that because I can't, like I said, they don't see race thing. This is from Sky News, and we're gonna watch it.
Of nearly 360,000 calls about missing people in the course of the year. That's nearly 1,000 every day. Now, many of those calls, the reports will be about the same individual. So the total number of missing individuals recorded by the police in England and Wales was 155,000 that year. And we know quite a lot about the type of people who go missing. Adults make up the biggest share here compared to children, but actually children are overrepresented because they're a smaller share of the general population. We can also break it down in terms of gender. Significantly more men go missing than women, and we can break it down by ethnicity. Here you can see how that works. The majority being white there, but black people are overrepresented here, again, in terms of their share of their population. Now, Richard Okorege went missing in March 2021. He was found dead 2 weeks later. And an investigation afterwards found that the police did not take the case seriously enough. We spoke to Richard's mother, Evidence, about that.
You're anxious, you're worried, your child is not with you. That's my baby. And I was told that if you can't find your son, how do you expect the police officers to find your child for you? I was devastated. That's the last thing that a parent wants to hear when you're looking for your only child. Richard was my only child. Race does play a major part of it.
It does, especially in England. I just said that because they only see it as, we're all together. The man just said that they didn't go looking for this boy because of his race. It's the same thing that is happening here. That's happening over there. But see, they have a control of how they speak on race issues. We speak on race issues, and they're trying to control us for that as well. Because look, we even talk about why is it so hard for you guys to find our Black children?
Your background plays major, especially if you're parents as well.
Now, some of the most famous missing persons unsolved. Lord Lucan vanished in 17,000 more. McCann, who disappeared in 2007. But those are the exceptions. The majority of people are found fairly quickly. 43% are found within the first 8 hours of an incident. Those numbers get smaller the more you go on. 2 to 7 days, 11.6%. 7 to 27 days, where we are with Nicola Bulley, it's only 3.6%. And more than a month, just 1.2% still missing. And the vast majority of cases have a positive outcome. When it comes to children and adults disappearing, 96.8% of children reappear without having suffered any harm, 89.5% of adults. And there are reasons why people go missing. These are the main ones: relationships, mental health, drugs or alcohol, unaccompanied juveniles, and then there are lots of other reasons. Violent reasons are there as well. They're a lot smaller. Sexual exploitation, you can see how much they make up here. Sexual exploitation was 2.7%, gang-related 1.7%, domestic abuse 1.2%. Very much the minority. Some cases do end in.
So he said it's 955 fatal outcomes. Yes, minorities. They do not take initiative of finding minorities, including minorities are us. And shout out to the journalist who just came out and said this that we just watched. Shout out to him, because that's a big thing in the UK. It's very different. And if you talk to people that come from the UK, especially Black people that come here, and they'll tell you it is very different. It is very different. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a video for it for you. And they say it is very different. They will tell you like they can't you know, I've heard people say, oh, they go to the UK and you feel disrespected and you can't say anything. But when you come here to America, black men, they don't let nobody disrespect you. Yeah, they can't do that in the UK. Let's see. They can't speak on that. They did a piece on. Okay, so someone did this, and this was 6 years ago, but they did a piece on why Black Britons and Caribbeans can't sing. We'll get into that Saturday tonight. We're gonna open the conversation.
Two facts. One, I define myself as a black man first, because that's what you're going to see when you look at me. Being is something I define myself second, third, I can't decide.
I couldn't tell.
But it's not everything I am. It's complexity. That's not backing away from the fact that I'm gay.
Honey, if he is, he is. I couldn't tell. Listen, some are flamboyant, some are not. He's very dapper. Listen, I'm not saying gay people are dapper. Most of them are intelligent too. Most of them are well spoken. Most of them are different. It's different things. If he put myself as a black man. He said second or third, which you wouldn't think of because he came out and said it. He said that he is a gay man. He said, I don't know if I want to put that second or third, but that's my personality. And I like how he insinuated that, because a lot of people get people that are gay different, like that's their whole identity, and it's not.
Go to the world. My career in the UK and other parts of the world really came about because someone there saw my talent at being able to talk about money, finance, and my. I don't think that I would have had the same opportunity in the United States. Why not? Partly because when people look at me, see my skill sets, and they're always filtered through their own prejudice. In the UK
is breaking boundaries. They're trying to. I'm starting to notice that, because I understand who Prince Harry, his name Harry, is. Now remember, he married a black woman, and when she came out and spoke on the things that happened, Meghan Markle. UK is starting to broad with skill set of not worrying about your color or what you are. They're looking at your skills. They want to know your skills. So now they're trying to break that, because now they've been exposed. Okay. Not only that, the Queen of England, she was exposed by taking jewelry from Africa and keeping them. So they're trying to pivot to say, hey, we're not looking at that. What are your skills? What can you bring? Right? They're trying to change it. This is why they're trying to keep them from not speaking on it, right? But the mistreatment from the black experience in the UK that they can speak on is outrageous. They should not speak on certain things.
World, not all, but many. Even if it's the opportunity to fail, but it's an opportunity that you can success. I don't think that what happened in the United Kingdom happened for me. I don't think the people
Hello. Okay, so I know we were having a great topic talking about that man on Big Think. Just type in God, I forgot what I typed in. But basically, he was basically saying that, hey, you know, being in the UK, I got more love for who I am and accept this. Even if I fall, I can still progress because they're not looking at me as a black gay man like America looks at black gay men. They look at, and I'm gonna tell you what America look at that UK kind of shades away from. You know, that's a little difference because I hear the stories all the time. In the night, we'll go with some stories with women living abroad to get a better sense over there on live if I have the time. But UK, America, these are the three things they have a problem with you with. If you are a minority, if you are Asian, we don't call it, be honest, Mexican, Indian, or black, and if you are gay, that is their biggest problem. And it's so crazy because a person that says that they groom children get more accepted or touch on women get more accepted than anything else. And it's very weird. Um, but it's true. That's the acceptance. You can go anywhere, they don't care. If you are trans, they care. And I never understood why trans was such a big thing. My thing is, whatever somebody do their body to do their body. You don't have to be gay or trans to be a pedophile, a pedo. You don't have to be gay or trans to groom. And that's something America still has a problem with. Finding black children even is a problem in other areas, but we've noticed and we just talked about how it's a big problem for us in America. You know, you just heard the UK saying they have the issue. And I think it goes back to history of, you know, British colonizers taking over, you know, stealing, I mean, British was their thing over there, but stealing America land or whatever. I don't even think most of them was British that stole the British and became British colonizers. I really don't. Um, and making sure, because British wanted to run the world, was going to be honest, and making sure that when it came to minorities and mistreatment, it goes back in history of time of why our children are not being the focal point. and why race plays a big part. And it's so funny how race does play a big part when it comes to England, well, London, England, UK, and Black America is because of the history. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like it's not. Colonization is part of the biggest reason. I don't think they had an acceptance that there are minorities, um, being a thing. And they have an issue with that. I don't know why. I can't answer that for you. We can go into statistics and all this and that, but it'll never be a clear answer. So they both have the thing of minorities and race, but their biggest thing with UK and England is if you're a single mother, they do not go look for your child. They're like, oh, well, you're a single mom, you don't care. Oh, well, you living here, you don't care. That's basically what that woman just said in that interview. She said, another thing is my son is black, and another thing is I'm a single mother. And this is why I keep saying the single mother and father debate needs to stop, because we don't know the issues when it comes to the father and the mother. We don't know how it ended, but we do know fathers can fight for their rights. Number one, if they're still alive. And mothers, there could be a reason, and they need to tell their kids the truth. The black community has to stop with this procreating and being and having children and walking around and having more. It has to stop somewhere, because we are still trying to find children, and we need to be careful and stop trying to keep having the move relationship and start looking at the grooming for children. And that's another thing. It's just the truth. People ain't got like come in and don't like it. I don't care, but it's the truth. I feel like, just like that woman said, they didn't take time to find her son. Her son could probably, to her, and she's in the UK, she said, my son would probably still be alive if they took the time to find him. And that's true. We will never understand why minorities are not being looked at. Latinas, put them in it, are not being looked for. We could never understand why it's not. The only time now it's become an issue because of deportation. But let's be honest. If it wasn't for deportation, and it wasn't for what he stood for with deportation, would they really give a damn about the Latina minorities being found? Would they really care? And that's something you have to think about, because we understand they don't care. There ain't nothing they can do with us. With the Asian and the Asian hate, and they went missing, would they really care? Would they really care? Would they care? I don't think they would care. I think it's becoming a political standpoint to use it. Our children and minorities, might as well say, we're all have children, just like they'll use it as, I'm telling you now, if it come in a political standpoint and they want to use our black children missing as a thing that we have to fix it, they would use it as that, just to get what they have to get, and they wouldn't care after that. They can't use our children for that, because it's not going to work. Dr. Umar said it best. You can't send black people because black people was here already. You just have to deal and double them down with being looked for, with the issues they have. That's it. That's it. It's the truth. I really don't. I'm going to be honest. When we talked about minorities, we put Latinas in it too. They wouldn't give a damn if it wasn't about this deportation information. I'm going to be honest. Just like when 9/11 happened, Muslims is, they wouldn't have gave a damn if that didn't happen. If they went missing, they wouldn't care, because they don't care. They don't care. They're part of minorities. Until people understand that, they do not care. You would sit here and see. And shout out to the parents. When Casey Anthony, what did we see when she went missing? Oh, it was a baby plastered all over everywhere. When the other woman that was pregnant and married went missing, plastered everywhere. Whole CNN segment, where is she? But the moment, I have not seen one CNN or any of these folks get their butt, except for Steve Wilkos and Nancy, if she was still there, get their butt on TV and state Naziah Harris and all the other black children that are missing. Not one. Even with minorities. I was talking to my coworker. She's Mexican, and she was like, they don't care about our kids. They only care because of this mess going on. I say, right, they don't care about our kids. Just like they don't care about y'all kids. They don't care about the blacks kids. They don't care about it. They don't care. They won't even plaster. If I go and look on my phone and see how many Asian children went missing, do you really think that they would plaster them and report them? No, it's being honest. So I'm going to continue to keep talking about black missing children and other things. It's the truth. We have to defend for our kids. It's not fair that we have to look on TV. We get a 30-minute coverage in the local town or where we live, and that's it. We look on TV and oh, they're being groomed, or black women being unalived by these men who don't know control their emotions, or black women who don't control their emotions or do it for their men to unalive others. It's a growing thing, and it's not talked about anymore. You look at it and it's going with the wind. You know, it's crazy how I just showed y'all other countries sit here. We're not gonna talk about the UK. We put them on the back burner. Africa come together and say, we got to figure this out. Islands come together and say, hold on, we got to figure this out. This can't keep going. It's crazy. We're the only ones who can't figure it out because they don't care. So I'm going to keep reporting it. I thank you guys for watching this live. If y'all want more information, if y'all want me to do more videos on, but we are going to discover missing women and children and how that became a ritual thing, let me know. I'll deep dive it for you guys. But I am going to deep dive Jocelyn, I hope I said her name right, in West Africa, Cape Town, how she was trafficked and who her suspect was. We're going to deep dive into that. But tonight, we're going to do some light, funny stuff. Tomorrow, I will come back on here. We're going to when I say I'm going to deep dive, I'm going to get all the information on it. We're going to go through so I can know what channel, put in my notes, what channels to look at, and all that stuff tomorrow morning. We're going to do a deep dive on it because I want that to be spoken out too. Because the difference with Cape Town, well, with Africa is their court systems are different. And y'all saw all them judges and stuff. And the reason why is because their laws are different and their sentencings are very much, I believe, more crucial than ours. So yes, it's a lot of people. And we're going to deep dive that too. But we are going to discuss about that young lady who was trafficked in West Cape Town, Africa. And we're going to look at the sentencing. We're going to look at all that stuff tomorrow. So that's what it's all going to be. But tonight, I'm going to have it very light, very fun. We're going to get into a little gossip here and there, just to lighten the load, because I don't want this channel to be just more about missing girls. I want you guys to not, with so much going on in the world, I don't want to put so much on y'all to have a mental thing and be like, oh my God, this is going on. I want y'all to have some light fun too. There's other things going on and just, have a funny time, just to lay it low. So I thank you guys for your support. I thank you guys for watching. I will be back tonight at 10:30. Make my times. I know it's like 11:30. The reason I do that because I want to make sure I know most of y'all are parents, grandparents, whatever. Make sure the kids are asleep. Have y'all a little drink or relaxation, and we just finna get into some funny things. And then we'll go back tomorrow, and then we're gonna talk about other things as well. So enjoy your Saturday. I hope you have fun. Stay warm. I'm ready for spring, just like everybody else, because I'm tired of this bipolar weather. We hit our 2-hour mark tonight. I want to tell y'all, be ready. Watch a replay. You've been watching, you come back and watch. Be ready. We finna get into a YouTube mother. Y'all gonna be pissed. Don't be pissed with me. And don't go to that girl page. Don't do it. Y'all gonna be pissed. Okay? But we gonna make a light joke. But y'all gonna be pissed. We gonna go down that wave. I'm gonna talk to my homegirl, see what we could do. We finna have us a little fun over here. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tonight. Later.